You can see we have an automatic buy order in here, and by following the rules of the system, the candles come up and break over this high. We have a new take profit level here. We're up $4,200 and we get closed out for over $4,000, and this happened in just a few hours. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the live crypto trading that I did in the past week. Okay, we spent months gathering data, backtesting, and developing these strategies, which just this week alone has allowed me to make around $10,000 in profit between 2 trading accounts, and right now is allowing our entire team to clean up. This style of trading can quite possibly revolutionize retail trading as we know it. And today in this video, I'm going to share it with you. So I'm going to show you my exact trade entries, exits, and the thought process behind each trade. I'm going to show you some of the indicators that we're using on our chart so you can start applying it to your own trading, the math behind these types of systems, and how to actually take the trades, some cool different ways I'll be gradually taking profits out of this system, and at the end I'll show you how you can also start taking these trades. All right, we've been building in silence through 2024, and now we're going to be unrolling all of the things that we've been working on. So if that sounds good, make sure you hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you like trading and investing, follow us on Instagram, Discord, TikTok. We have an amazing trading community. So I'm going to break down each of these trades one by one. First, going to show you how they unfolded in real time. Then I'm going to break them down on chart and explain the thought process behind each trade, and then we'll get to all the fun stuff on how to do it a little bit later in the video. All right, so this first trade was on Matic. What I'm trying to do is follow a continuation of this trend here. I have my moving averages all lined up, and I got in a little bit underneath my entry here at this gray line. So we got the price pushing up to our high here, gets rejected off of this level, and is now looking to me that this price is going to come down in reverse. So now we have all of these different limit orders ready to fill our position further. So price comes down and fills our second limit order. So now in order for this trade to go full profit, our original take profit was up here, but now we just need the price action to reverse just a little bit into this level for us to go full profit. Okay, so price comes down, almost fills our limit 2, trade sideways, comes up and retests this moving average, and we lock in right around $1,000 on this trade. But let's get into the meat and potatoes, a little bit of what we're looking for with these setups and how they actually work. So in trending markets, we want to be following the trend, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So we see level here, and then price action breaks up over this trend line here, and then we also have this wick down here, this wick right here, turning from support to significant resistance once the price action breaks down through that level, hits it as a resistance, and then fails. So as soon as I see price action coming up back up to this level, hitting resistance, and then breaking up through that, I have confirmation now that this trend is most likely going to continue. We also have our moving averages lined up. So we have a 20, a 50, and a 200 period EMA on a 5-minute chart frequency, basically showing us with all of these moving averages lined up, we could see a continuation in trend. Price comes down, hits off these moving averages. If this price hits off of this level and comes up to here, this is going to get us out for full profit, and then we'll take the trade on the continuation and walk away. Now you can see price did come up and try to make a run at our take profit, and then we dumped through our initial entry and then came down to this secondary level here where I added my second amount of units. I'm going to explain a little bit further into the video how this actually works. Basically what we're doing is we're adding more shares down here to drop the price that Matic needs to get to in order for our full take profit to be hit. And you can see price almost came down to trigger our second limit order, but ended up flipping around and then came up to this level, and we're able to get out for roughly a $1,150 gain on this trade. This was the second trade here on LTC. Now this was a very interesting trade because it happened really quickly, and it's something that you need to keep in mind, especially when we're trading these types of range strategies. All right, so price drops down through our entry, through limit 1, almost hitting limit 2, all in one 30-minute candle. My P&L wasn't slid over, but you can see we're up 900, 1,000, 1,100. Once again, price just comes back up in one candle, fills us on limit 1, and then gets us out of the trade. So you can see this trade ended up being a $950 gain after slippage and fees. So once again, with this setup, I'm looking for a break of trend here, which we get confirmation on. Price action breaks through here, retests the overside of this trend, and then has an extension. Now, what I would have liked to see is for the price action to break over this level, because this is what we're typically looking for. All right, this is going to show us the full follow through in the continuation. We actually did get a rejection off of here. This is really what I wanted to talk about in this type of trade. So right here, we have the opens of the New York session. And basically this is going to show us that this is an expected period of volatility. The New York stock market largely affects all the other global markets. And we can see right as New York started in this zone here, this is where we got the large wick down. So if we're trading smaller ranges, yes, sometimes it is nice to be able to get these one candle down, fill, and then get out in 30 minutes. this. But also what we're trying to do with this system is allow price action to gradually trend through our levels and eventually get us out of our system. So normally we're wanting to avoid volatility like this if we're trading smaller zones. I felt like the range was wide enough on this one and we were able to capitalize and basically make $1,000 in 30 minutes, which is really amazing. All right, let's get into our next trade, which was on Ethereum, and see how this plays out. So once again, we have our overall trend here. We have our limits set, and now we just need to let the trade unfold. Okay, so price action is coming down off of this level, fills our limit 1. We see it activated over there. All right, so now we're up about $2,000 on this trade. Now we are sitting through the New York session now, so we could expect some volatility to happen. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is where my screen stopped recording, so I'm just gonna have to show you the P&L to prove that we closed the trade out, and then I'm gonna show you how it unfolded on TradingView. So once again, I'm finding this downtrend break of structure and then a positive trend line with positive 20, 50, and 200 exponential moving averages. All right, and believe it or not, this trade was a little bit of a mistake. And the reason for this is because it kind of happened overnight and price action ended up changing. When I found this trade, we were at this peak. I set up all of my entry criteria, confirmed my details, then I just input all of these orders into Bybit and left it to run by itself. Now, the funny thing about this trade is it actually broke new highs overnight. You can see this is 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So realistically, this trade should have been set up more like this, but instead I got filled as if the trend broke and moved down here, which was actually kind of a mistake. But funny enough, price came down to fill our limit 1 and then came up and hit our entire full take profit to get us out for $3,200. So after slippage and fees, we had about $3,100 in profit. And really what we're looking out for is PMI, FOMC, CPI data, all of these things that are going to sort of affect the monetary policy of the US are going to swing the stock market and then sort of residually the crypto market. And we're trying to avoid these crazy big moves in volatility unless we're sort of expecting it for the trade. All right, we can go over to our economic calendar on TradingView, toggle on the only high importance events. We can see on Monday, we have a Japanese interest rate decision, may or may not be super important. Inflation rate year over year in Britain's probably going to matter a significant amount. GDP growth rate for the US on Thursday, December 21st. This could add some volatility to the market. Realistically, over time, as you trade these things, you need to see which economic events actually have impact on the markets. So the next trade of the week was on ADA, and this was a bit of a more risk on, say, if you will. I'll explain maybe how we could have done things differently, but it still panned out in our direction. So you can see off of this range, I was trading an up range here, which may have not been smart. This is a different frequency than I was trading on, but I was still using this. So my up range here, I have my initial entry here, I limit here, and then limit 2 down here. So price comes down. Unless it's going to sweep this wick, we should have some sort of rebound in price action. So we do get a bit of a rebound in price action. All right, now we have our new take profit at 62.58. All right, this is wrong. Don't pay attention to that. But right now we're up about $2,000 on the position, pushing, trying to break this high here. All right, and then price action does break that high. We're up around $4,000 on the position. And you can see now the price only needs to come up a hair now that our limit 2 is filled. So these positions got closed out separately, but you can see between these two positions, we made right around $4,000 on that trade. Once again, very quick trade. This was a tighter range trade, which is why we got the limit 2 filled. The more limit 2s we're going to have filled, the higher probability that these trades are actually going to get stopped out. So obviously we're trying to use our other technical analysis to make sure that we decrease the chances of us getting stopped out on this trade, because realistically what I should have been trading is probably this trend up and then trying to take longs into this momentum, or once again following this downtrend here where I'm shorting into this trend, so that if we get a big move off of here, we end up getting short into, say, a zone like this, price can come down and now we'd be sitting in profit on this trade currently. But the good thing is with DCA range trading, okay, there is a lot of flexibility. So in this situation, once again, was trading this range here, so we got long our first order here, price came up, back down, filled our second limit, third limit here, and then we were able to take profit here. And once again, this is a great example of the New York Open creating volatility, big volatility push down, sort of giving us that region before we got our bounce back. And then once again, big sell off during the Open of New York. So look for these times for it to be major volatility in crypto, but also keep in mind this can open up opportunity depending on the system that we're trading. So between all of the trades from this week, I was able to have a 100% win rate, which obviously will change. I'll get into the math behind the system in just a second. And I only realistically traded 4 days of the week. So I entered the first trade on the 12th, and then I wrapped up all of the trades on the 15th. And actually, funny enough, I just had a Dogecoin trade fill as well on this for another limit 2 short, and I was able to make the biggest profit so far, $5,600 on this trade. So once again, off of this range, I was able to enter here, set my initial short zone here, limit 1, limit 2, and then we had our stop loss level over here. So off of the price coming up and filling the limit and then coming right back down and getting us out, we were actually able to make right around $5,600. I'll probably put that in a reel or just not include it here because I didn't record the trade. All right, so I'm going to show you a little bit more about how this system works and the way that I'm working right now to be able to gradually take profits out of this system. All right, so this ADA trade is a perfect example of DCAing, or dollar cost averaging, which is the premise behind this system. For dollar cost averaging, let's go over how it actually works and how we can apply it to our trading. Say you buy one coin of a crypto at $10. In order for you to get a $10 profit out of this share price or per unit price has to go up to $20. Okay, that's going to yield you a $10 profit. But say the price of this instrument now drops to $5. Say, for example, you acquire 3 more units of this at $5. Now we can multiply these two together, which is going to give us 15. This is going to give us 10. Now we have 25 divided by 4 is going to give us 625, which is now going to be our new average price. So now we have 4 total units at an average of $6.25. Okay, so now in order to make a $10 profit off of this, instead of this having to double, which was in this scenario, this only now needs to increase to $8.75 per unit for us to make a $10 gain. Okay, and we can keep going down with this process so that you need a smaller and smaller move to make the same amount of profit. Now, as you add to losing positions, this also does increase the risk profile on the trade, which is why you have to be very meticulous about these systems. All right, so just for an example, say we start with $1,000. In this system right now, 76% is pretty reasonable. So you have a 0.22 risk reward ratio and a 50% risk on your account. Most people would think that this is asinine first getting into trading, but if you actually understand statistical probabilities and evaluating data, you'll understand that this is actually effective so long as your win rate is high, which once again comes down to being a disciplined trader. There's no easy magical solution to trading. It's about having disciplined structure and refining your process down and paying attention to the meticulous details. The difference between a successful trader and a not successful trader are very, very small things. Okay, everyone's trading the same patterns, knowing the same thing. The only difference between the professional ones that are actually profitable versus the ones that aren't are how closely you're paying attention to your systems, how diligently are you following the same process over and over to be able to achieve that result that you can then quantify and be able to expand on and have the confidence to know that if you execute that system, you're going to be able to be profitable over time. All right, and you can see if we drop this, say even down to an 80% win rate with these other parameters, now you're actually losing money over time. So the amount of winning trades that you need to have is really, really important if you're trading with a system like this. Okay, but once again, in these circumstances, we can win 20, 30 trades in a row and be able to gradually be taking funds out of the system. And by the way, guys, if you're new here or you're following along, we're gonna have a lot more formal developments of the system, but I actually asked ChatGPT the most effective way based on this style of trading to be able to take profits out of the system, and actually spit out a very smart solution of fixed percentage profit withdrawals. If you take, for example, 25% of the money out each time to claim as profit for yourself on all of your winning trades, so long as you're maintaining a high enough win rate, even when you take the catastrophic losses, you'll still be trading that and scaling it very gradually over time and pulling funds out. Once again, this is still in the works, and these are things that we're going to be meticulously developing moving into 2024, as well as teaser potentially full automation with this system. All right, but let's get into an actual trade example using Bybit, inputting one of these orders. And I'm going to show you how you can also start applying this to your own trading. All right, so let's take this Dogecoin trade as an example trade. So enter, entry, take profit, limit 1, limit 2. Stop loss, Saber trading with $1,000, and we can apply. I'm going to go over into Bybit here, select limit. Okay, so I'm just going to input these values here. All right, I'm going to check this box here. I'm going to select short in this instance. My take profit is going to be 0.8894. All right, and I don't need to put a stop loss until it's on my last limit. I can hit confirm over here, and then I'm just going to select sell short on that, and it's going to populate my order. All right, and then on the last order, I can put in my stop loss and then submit the order, and that is going to send it off. All right, and moving into 2024, you're going to actually be able to start taking some of these trades for free in our Discord alongside us if you find this interesting. So the link to the Discord is in the description of the video. All right, so first when you join into the Discord, you're going to come into this channel. It's going to explain how things work. Basically, this public trading and analyst tab is going to be where all of your trade alerts are going to come in. All right, every time there's an update for a trade, we're going to be updating it in here. And every time there is a trade alert, all right, it's going to be threaded off of this. In order to participate in these trades, you can come down to resources and learning in our public area. And you can see here are all of the tools for the trade ideas. So for the TCL Max, you can go ahead and pop this open here. All right, and obviously on the private side of the team, we're going to be doing all of these trades, but we're going to be sharing some of these trades with you so you can get the gist of it. So all you have to do is make a copy of this sheet and input these two specific criteria, and you can participate in those alerts. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. We're simply showing you what we're working on and what we're doing, and everything else is going to be your decision. All the other tools in here, along with a suite of other free learning and an amazing community of people all working on trading, are here. So this is where you can consider home if you're looking to grow your trading experience in 2024. All right, if you found this interesting and helpful, make sure you hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you like trading and investing. Check us out on Instagram. We're posting a lot of unique content on there, so definitely give us a follow and check out the content that we're posting there. All right, I'll be interested to see what people have to say in the comments about all this. But anyways, guys, until next time, I will see you all in the next video.